everyone, welcome back to Rebecca's Colouring Arts and Crafts. So I'm not sure if that's quite straight or not, but I'm doing my best because I swapped the camera before for the previous video that I posted and I've now put it back, so I'm hoping this works. But yeah, anyway, right, this video I'm going to actually do a book haul of the books that I found waiting for me at home, as well as the books that I got whilst I was at the Sydney Writers Festival. So I'm going to start with my Illumnicrate items. So obviously I've already unboxed these and the box has gone into the recycling, so I'm just going to show you them as they are. So I'm going to start with Descendant of the Crane by Joan He, I think it is. This is actually an exclusive cover Illumnicrate version of the book, and it comes with blue instead of green in where the flowers and the backgrounds and that are. It also comes with like a crimson sprayed edge, and yeah, on the back it just says that it's an Illumnicrate exclusive edition, not for resale. It did also come with a book plate, which I put in there. It's a bit crooked, but not as bad as the last time I put a book plate in, just so I don't lose it, and so it's in the book. But yeah, so I don't actually know much about this book, and I tend to, as I've said before, like to go into my books without knowing much. So I'm sort of going to just go into it without knowing much. I was going to see if I could see, there is a bit of a description in there, so I'll just read out the description. So it says, tyrants cut out hearts, rulers sacrifice their own. Princess Hestina of Yan has always been eager to shirk the responsibilities of the crown, dreaming of an unremarkable life. But when her beloved father is found dead, she's thrust into power, suddenly the queen of a surprisingly unstable kingdom. What's more, Hestina believes that her father was murdered, and that the killer is someone close to her. Hestina's court is packed full of dissemblers and deceivers, eager to use the king's death for political gain, each as plausibly guilty as the next. Her advisors would like her to blame the neighbouring kingdom of Kendia, whose ruler has been mustering for war. Determined to find her father's actual killer, Hestina does something desperate. She enlists the aid of a soothsayer, tongue-tangled, a treasonous act, punishable by death, since magic was outlawed centuries ago. Using the information provided by the sooth, and uncertain if she can trust her family, Hestina turns to Akira, a brilliant investigator who's also a convicted criminal with secrets of his own. With the future of Yan at stake, can Hestina find justice for her father, or will the cost be too high? So that sounds really good, and from what I know, it is a standalone novel, but there is apparently the possibility for other books with other characters to be added onto it, if it comes to it. So yeah, I'm really excited about that one, and I really like the cover change and everything. I haven't actually seen the other cover other than pictures online, but yeah, it's cool. I'm happy with it, and that's what matters. So as for items from the Illumnicrate edition, there's this Holly Black official exclusive mug. So it's from The Wicked Prince, which I haven't actually read, but I really like the way the mug looks. It looks really cute and adorable, and I really like it. And it's a nice big mug too, so fit plenty of tea or something while you're reading your books. Then it came with this, from what I know, it's like a mobile phone ring, so you stick it to your mobile and you can have your finger on the ring while you're talking on the phone, and it's Game of Thrones inspired. As you can see, it's the Iron Chair. It also came with, from what I've heard, the first in a series of magnetic coins, and this edition actually came with a necklace for the magnetic coin as well. So apparently these are going to be a more regular addition to Illumnicrate now. So as you'll see, it does remove, so you can swap what's on there. I have noticed it moves slightly, but they could be used on anything from like your fridge or anything like that. So I'm not sure I would actually wear it because it seems to move a bit and I would be worried about losing it, but I might use it on the fridge or something, I don't know yet. It also came with a Flick and Ink, is it, candle called Crown of Power, which is an Illumnicrate exclusive, and its flavour is Sunripe Raspberry. So it just comes, I don't know if you can see it, but it just comes, it's just a white candle with some glitter, and it smells really good of raspberries. It also came with a tin. So this is a book tin based around Sarah J Maas. I'm not sure which one because I haven't gotten to read all the books yet as much as I want to. I've got so many books. So this says, once upon a time in a land long since burned to ash, there lived a young princess who loved her kingdom. And inside, it's just blank, and then it's got another quote, libraries were full of ideas, perhaps the most dangerous and powerful of all weapons, Sarah J Maas. So it's just a cute little tin. I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for yet, but I'm sure I'll find something to use it for. We also got a series of, from what I know, these are character cards from the Descendant of the Crane. So we got 5 of those, which is cool. That one's Akira, Hesina, Lillian, Kayan, and Sanjing. It also came with 2 samplers, so it came with a sampler of We Are Blood and Thunder, and from what I can tell, I think this one's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but I'm not totally sure. But always nice to have little samplers of upcoming books. Then there was just the card with what was in the box, as well as May's upcoming theme, which is J. Christoph's Aurora Rising, J. Christoph and Amy Kaufman, sorry, and just an author letter from the author of Descendant of the Crane, and 3 posters from, I'm not sure where because I haven't actually got all the books of pieces that were in here, but I still really like the items. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to have to add a couple of these. It's taking a while longer than I thought to go through things, but we'll get there. So I'm just going to pause for a minute and shift some things, and then I will be back. So hey everyone, I'm back. So now I'm going to go on to the next books that I've received that weren't part of the Sydney Writers Festival. So I'm going to start with Furyborn by Claire Legrand. So I got the first 2 books in this series. From what I know, the 3rd isn't out yet. I haven't actually read anything based around these, but I will read the chapter description because I've heard great things about these, but I haven't had the chance to read them yet. So yeah, I'm quite excited about these. So it says, the world will fall, 2 queens will rise. And I have noticed this one seems to be losing a lot of its cover on it with how it's came. So as you'll notice, all the black covers coming here, and I'm actually going to contact them about it shortly, see if I can get some money back a bit, take some photos and see if I can get some money back, because the cover's really coming off this one really easily. From what I saw, it is a first edition, but yeah, it's just come quite damaged with the cover bits peeling. which isn't very fun. But yeah, so I'll read the description here. So we got 2 young women centuries apart hold the power to either save their world or doom it. When assassins ambush her best friend, the Crown Prince, April Darden risks everything to save him, exposing her ability to perform all 7 kinds of elemental magic. The only people who should possess this power are a pair of prophesized queens, a queen of light and a queen of blood. To prove she is the Sun Queen, Riel must endure 7 trials to test her magic. If she fails, she will be executed, unless the trials destroy her first. 1,000 years later, the legend of Queen Riel is a mere fairy tale to bounty hunter Elena Ferracora. When the Undying Empire conquered her kingdom, she embraced violence to keep her family safe. Now she believes herself untouchable, until her mother vanishes. To find her, Ileana joins a rebel captain on a dangerous mission and discovers that the evil at the heart of the Empire is more terrible than she ever imagined. As Riel and Ileana fight in a cosmic war that spans millennia, their stories intersect and the shocking connections between them will ultimately determine the fate of their world and of each other. So that sounds really cool. And then I've also got book 2, which is Kingsbane, a queen to save us, a queen to ruin us. And I'll just read the inside of this one too. So this one says, 2 queens separated by centuries must fight for their crowns as a rising evil threatens everything they love. Riel Darden has been anointed Sun Queen, but her trials are far from over. The gate keeping the angels at bay is falling. To repair it, Riel must collect the 7 hidden castings of the saints. Meanwhile, to help her prince and love, Audric, protect Celidaria, Riel must spy on the angel Corian, but his promises of freedom and power may prove too tempting to resist. Centuries later, Eliana Ferracora grapples with her new reality. She is the Sun Queen, humanity's long-awaited saviour. But fear of corruption, fear of becoming another Riel, keeps Eliana's power dangerous and unpredictable. With few allies in her corner, she races against time to save her dying friend, Navi. Most importantly, Eliana must decide how to wear a crown she never wanted, by either embracing her mother's power or rejecting it forever. Separated by 1,000 years, connected by secrets and lies, Riel and Eliana's fight continues amid deadly plots and unthinkable betrayals that will test their strength and their hearts. So this one doesn't seem to be peeling so much like the other one, from what I can tell. It does have a few little scuff marks that tend to come like that, but yeah, I'm going to contact Book Depository about that one peeling, and sometimes when it's really damaged or there's damage, they'll sometimes give you a little bit of money back from the book, because obviously I can't return it because it's too costly from Australia back to England, and postage costs, yeah, it's just too expensive. So I'll contact them and find out if that can be done, because it's kind of disappointing when the books come like that, but I know there's not much I can do about it. It's kind of luck of the draw, but as other book lovers know, it does kind of get disappointing when your books come damaged and you bought them brand new. So yeah, so the next book that I got is, this was in a 2 for the price of 3 for the price of 2. And so I got, I'm kind of getting into thriller novels at the moment. So I got Scrublands by Chris Hammer. I actually don't know much about this one either, just that I've heard it's good, and from what I know it was a finalist in an awards that was held at the Sydney Writers' Festival. So it says, in an isolated country town brought to its knees by endless drought, a charismatic and dedicated young priest calmly opens fire on his congregation, killing 5 parishioners before being shot dead himself. A year later, troubled journalist Martin Scarsden arrives in Riversend to write a feature on the anniversary of the tragedy. But the stories he hears from the locals about the priest and the incidents leading up to the shooting don't fit with the accepted version of events his own newspaper reported in an award-winning investigation. Martin can't ignore his doubts nor the urgings of some locals to unearth the real reason behind the priest's deadly rampage. Just as Martin believes he is making headway, a shocking new development rocks the town, which becomes the biggest story in Australia. The media descends on Riversend, and Martin is now the one in the spotlight. His reasons for investigating the shooting have suddenly become very personal. Wrestling with his own demons, Martin finds himself risking everything to discover a truth that becomes darker and more complex with every twist. But there are powerful forces determined to stop him, and he has no idea how far they will go to make sure the town's secrets stay buried. So that's a thriller, which I'm quite excited about. And then I also got, this is a complete collection of the Lord of the Rings series. From what I know, it's book 1, 2, and 3. It's the Fellowship of the Ring, the Two Towers, and the Return of the King. So I've wanted this one for a long time, and I came across this whilst I was at Dimmicks, and I was quite excited, so of course I had to get it. So, and it's a honker of a book as well. Wow. Yeah. Doesn't matter, some of those I've noticed, some of them are floppy, but, or not really floppy, but they kind of crease easily, and this one's one of those ones that kind of, I think it creases easily by the looks of it. But yeah. Next I'm going to bring in some books. So these are books that I went to TeenCon 2019 with my friend, which is basically like where the publishers give you the inside scoop of some upcoming books, and there's games and stuff like that. So in one of the games I actually won this, I'm not sure if it's the first in the series or not, but I won Monuments by Will Kostakis, I think it is, who's an Australian author. And from what I can read on the back, they built the world, now we have the power to change it. For teens Connor, Sally and Lockie, an ordinary day is about to become an extraordinary adventure of mythical proportions. And that's basically all it tells you, which is kind of curious, shall we say? Just move those forwards. I also got a sampler of The Eyes of Tambora by Marie V. Schneider, which I look forward to reading. So it's just a paper sampler. I also got Uncorrected Proof of Storm and Fury by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So it was basically, you were given random books. So everyone was given one ARC Uncorrected Proof copy book for going to this event, and I happened to get Jennifer L. Armentrout's Storm and Fury along with The Eyes of Tambora. I haven't actually I haven't actually read any of her other books, so I have heard this does continue from another series, but from what I've heard it's also able to be read solo, so that's kind of what I intend to do. And this one says, 18-year-old Trinity Marrow may be going blind, but she can see and communicate with ghosts and spirits. Her unique gift is part of a secret so dangerous that she's been in hiding for years, in an isolated compound fiercely guarded by wardens, gargoyle shapeshifters who protect humankind from demons. If the demons discover the truth about Trinity, they'll devour her, flesh and bone, to enhance their own powers. When wardens from another clan arrive with disturbing reports that something out there is killing both demons and wardens, Trinity's safe world implodes. Not the least because one of the outsiders is the most annoying and fascinating person she's ever met. Zane has secrets of his own that will upend her world yet again, but working together becomes imperative once demons breach the compound and Trinity's secret comes to light. To save her family and maybe the world, she'll have to put her trust in Zane, but all bets are off as the supernatural war is unleashed. So it sounds like it can be read solo, even though apparently it's continuing on with another world, so that's how I intend to read it anyway, because I don't own any of her other books. But I've wanted to read a Jennifer L. Armentrout for ages, so I'm really happy to have this. Next, I've got a book. This was my friend's one that he gave me, his Uncorrected Proof, and it's All That Impossible Space by Anna Morgan. And this one says, 16-year-old Lara Layla feels like a supporting character in her own life. She's Ashley's best friend, she's Hannah's sister, she's never just Lara. Lara finds the perfect distraction from the from the drama of school life in an unusual assignment from her new history teacher, Mr. Grant, an investigation of the Somerton Man mystery. Found dead on an Adelaide beach in 1948, a half-smoked cigarette still in his mouth, the Somerton Man has intrigued locals for years. Was he a spy, a criminal? And then Mr. Grant goes missing, and Lara becomes convinced that his disappearance is part of a wider conspiracy. Has her obsession with the Somerton Man developed her powers of deduction, or is Lara being led into a mystery darker than even she expects? So, quite excited for that one because I've been getting into thrillers lately. Then I've also got 4 of Neil Shusterman's books. So, I've got Darkness Creeping, 20 Twisted Tales. I don't know when this one was written. I'm not sure if it's going to be like the others. I had one that sort of started falling apart even when it wasn't read much, and it came a bit sort of damaged, but yeah. And just take that sticker off if we can. So this one basically says, imagine being trapped forever in someone else's nightmare with no means of escape, or caught on one of the most terrifying roller coasters of all time, when suddenly the tracks ahead just disappear. Enter the world of Darkness Creeping, where hollow-eyed skulls arrive in the mail and nothing is as it seems. Take a walk on the dark side with these masterfully creepy stories, so horrifying you may have to read them twice to remind yourselves they're not real. And we've also got Scythe and Thunderhead. So these are the first 2 in the series. From what I know, the 3rd is coming out sooner, and it's based around, from what I know, Scythes. I don't really know. But it says, what if death was the only thing left to control? In a perfect world, the only way to die is to be gleaned by a professional scythe. When Citra and Rowan are chosen to be apprentice scythes, they know they have no option but to learn the art of killing. However, the terrifying responsibility of choosing their victims is just the start. Corruption is the order of the day, and Citra and Rowan need to stick together to fight it. Then they are told that one of them will have to glean the other. Wow! I hadn't actually read that. Professional scythes control death. The Thunderhead controls everything else. It's a perfect system until it isn't. It's been a year since Rowan went off grid. Hunted by the scythedom, he has become an urban legend, a vigilante sniffing out corrupt scythes. Citra, meanwhile, is forging her path as Scythe Anastasia, gleaning with compassion. However, conflict among the scythes is growing, and when Citra's life is threatened, it becomes clear that there is a truly terrifying plot afoot. The Thunderhead observes everything, and it does not like what it sees. Will it intervene, or will it simply watch as this perfect world begins to unravel? Cool! I like the sound of those when I get to read them. And then I've also got Dry by Neil Shusterman and Jared Shusterman. So each of these also were signed by Neil. So Dry is, everyone's going to remember where they were when the taps ran dry. The drought, or the tap out as everyone calls it, has been going on for a while. Life has become an endless list of don'ts. Oh, excuse me, getting late in the evening. Don't water the lawn, don't take long showers, don't panic, but now there is no water left at all. Suddenly Alyssa's quiet suburban street spirals into a war zone of desperation and violence. When her parents go missing, she and her younger brother must team up with an unlikely group in search of water. Each of them will need to make impossible choices to survive. So that sounds really cool. Then other books, I'm just quickly going to go through these. I probably won't read everything because getting down on time. So I'll probably just speed it up and just show you them and then do that. But I've kind of read some. Some I may still read, but these are basically thriller books. So I'll just say if they're thriller or Marcus Zuzak. You're welcome to look them up online and find out what they are, but these are all ones that I got signed as well. So I got The Dry by Jane Harper, Force of Nature by Jane Harper, and her latest, The Lost Man by Jane Harper. So, you know, it's different sizes, but yeah. I also got 3 of Candace Fox's books. So these aren't the ones with, I can't remember who it is. Well, with the other author she writes the books with. So from what I know, this is her Australian Queensland series, and they're a crime thriller. I don't know a whole lot about them, but I don't mind because I like going into crime books basically not knowing anything, and I've been getting into crime books a lot more lately. So I've got, from what I know, these are the first 3 books, and then I don't know, I'm guessing there'll be more in this series. I'm not sure, but these are the first 3. So we got Crimson Lake, Redemption Point, and Gone by Midnight, and this is the 3rd book. It's James Patterson, that's the other person she writes with. And then I've also got, because I've already got Bridge of Clay signed at home, I didn't actually take it, so I've got Marcus Zuzak's The Book Thief, which I've never had before. Trent Dalton, Boy Swallows Universe. So this is one that I actually really wanted to go to, but I didn't know that this talk would be just what I needed to hear to kind of pick myself up again and keep going with my life. I really can't wait to read this one, and I actually got to meet Trent Dalton, which was awesome, and he was actually really, really nice, and yeah, I just can't wait to read this one. Then I've got Dervla McTiernan, The Ruin and The Scholar, and from what I know, these are her first 2 books with Cormac Riley, and they're based in Ireland, I think it is. I can't remember for sure, but I'm really happy to have those. They did both come signed, but then she just personalised them, because where I bought them from in Sydney, they just happened to be signed at that place, and so she just personalised them, which was nice. And finally, the last 3 I have were ones that I found at my local book grocer. So this is basically like a shop that receives rejects or damaged books and sells them for cheap. So rather than paying $40 or $50, you might pay $5 to $10. So the store we went to, Book Grocer, it was selling each of these for $5. All its books were $5 at the moment. So I found Mercedes Lockie Bastion, book 5 of the Collegium Chronicles. I actually have books, I think it's 1 and 2 in paperback, and this is book 5, so I still need books 3 and 4, but it's another book that continues my series, and it was hardback for $5. Who am I to pass that up? Particularly when you could pay $40, $50 for a hardcover book here. The next book was called The Unseen by Anna Mazzola. So I haven't actually really heard of this one before. I've seen it around at times, but I'm curious to read it. So it says, a good light always comes back to haunt you. So from what I read, it says, it is 1837 and the city streets teem with life, atmosphere and the stench of London. Sarah Gale, a seamstress and a mother, has been sentenced to hang for her role in the murder of Hannah Brown on the eve of her wedding. Edmund Fleetwood, an idealistic lawyer, is appointed to investigate Sarah's petition for mercy and consider whether justice has been done. Struggling with his own demons, he is determined to seek out the truth, yet Sarah refuses to help him. Edmund knows she's hiding something, but needs to discover just why she's maintaining her silence. For how can it be that someone with a child would go willingly to their own death? And so I'm assuming it's a bit of a thriller. I'm not totally sure, but I can't wait to read it. because it sounds really good and really intriguing. And then the last one, from what I know, this is the first in the series. I haven't actually seen if the second book's out, but this is called The Hatching. And from what I read on the back, it just says, the world is on the brink of an apocalyptic disaster. A virulent ancient species, long dormant, is now very much awake. And so from what I know, this is like a bit of a horror / thriller. And it says, as panic begins to sweep the globe, a mysterious package arrives at Melanie Guy's Washington laboratory. The unusual egg inside begins to crack. Something is coming. So it sounded really cool, so I couldn't pass it up, and it could be a good Halloween read? Who knows? So yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed this flip through. If you have, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Tell me any of the books that you think sound cool or interesting. I'm sorry I couldn't read descriptions of all of them. I was just running out of time and I didn't want to make it really, really long. So yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you later. Bye.